Okay. Hi, this is Charlie Zeiss with Stargate Pyramids, and this is Pyramid Quest for Monday, May 11th, 2020. Joining me today are Laurie Sasson and Lisa Richards. Lisa's got a big show prepared for us today. She's been doing some research on some new geometries of pyramids, and she's going to walk us through some information that she's put together, and then we're going to test some pyramid energies later in the session, having to do with the information that she's figured out and some new pyramids that she's built for us. So I just have one thing, and I guess before we begin, that I'd like to talk about. For those of you who are still, interested in the COVID-19 situation, I certainly am until we get the country back together again. But I, for years, have used an alternative to Microsoft Office called LibreOffice, Libre. The only reason I bring it up is because for those of you who maybe would prefer not to use products that Bill Gates is associated with at this point, it's an outstanding alternative to it. I put it on my significant other's computer yesterday, and that's kind of what made me think about this. She's kind of made that decision that she would prefer not to put money into his pocket directly or indirectly. And so, again, it's LibreOffice. It's a complete suite, which has products which are the equivalents of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And so for those of you who might be in need of new software, give that a shout. So anyway, that's enough of that. Yes.
One other thing, for weeks we were offering sound healing technique for COVID-19 patients.
Yes.
We're still offering that for people that if you're diagnosed, if you have coronavirus, we are still doing that. I have yet to get a phone call. I put it on all my social media. I put all the information out there for people that need something like that. If you know of someone that needs something like that, please contact us. We will immediately do some sound healing for you. We've heard some really great effects of sound healing for people that had knee pain, flus, other kind of things that have just done spectacular work on their energy. So if you know of someone that has coronavirus or you have it yourself, contact us. We'll do some sound healing on you.
Yeah. And even if you don't have it and you're still ill, that segues actually into something else I wanted to talk about. I did put together a proposal, which is now out to some funding consultants for the foundation. We're going to hopefully be hearing back very shortly on that and hope to be getting some funding so we can begin to do the testing that Laurie's talking about in a more systematic fashion going forward with the proper, testing protocols. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Lisa to talk about what she has to offer today.
Okay, great. Let me open up my screen real quick. Okay, can you guys see this okay?
Yes.
You're doing great.
Okay. So this is a great testimony from one of my customers. She wanted me to read it. She wanted to be anonymous though, so I'm going to leave her name out of it, but she has some great points that she touches on here. So she says her aches and pains in her body have diminished or disappeared. She has more energy. She feels more in tune with her soul and making decisions that honor her and move her life forward in a positive way. She hasn't been sick since she purchased the pyramid in early December and the capstone at the end of December. So she has Charlie's meditation pyramid. She has my capstone. She just ordered one of the Apex amplifiers and was so excited to get it because of these are the testimonies before she got the Apex amplifier. She also says, if I'm struggling to work something out in my heart or mind, I sit in the pyramid with the capstone. Emotionally, it shifts me to a place of calm and open receptivity. The answer will surface then or a short time later. She says, I have a mother-in-law plant in her bedroom that has thrived. It's about 6 feet from the pyramid. I have a windowless bedroom, so it has received no sunlight in 4 months. And she's not sure what specific effects the pyramid has on it, but the plant is very happy. She says, I have started using sound frequencies in the pyramid, which amplifies the benefits she receives. And sometimes she sees flashes of past lives or feels something lift out of her. And at the end of her session, she feels happier and balanced. And we've all experienced that with using it as well. She also says sometimes she plays the frequency sequence from the Stargate Pyramid website that Tom provided. She plays it inside the pyramid while she's outside of it, and she'll clean her work. And then she can feel the frequencies affecting her in a positive, more softer way when she does it that way. She also says she's experimented with sending the sound frequencies to a friend on a daily basis. She writes her name and address on a paper and places it inside the pyramid. And she notices that she feels happier and calmer in her day-to-day life, her friend. So that's pretty awesome. She's doing a lot of things. She says that she appreciates all the benefits she's receiving and that she enjoys watching the YouTube shows. She says she's learning a lot of history about other people's results and how to experiment with this beautiful energy and how to amplify the results. And she wants to thank us all for sharing the information with everyone.
Yeah, I love the empowerment of it, right? She feels like she has a tool to take her where she wants to go. I love it.
Yes, exactly. That's awesome. That was a great testimony, so I had to share it. Okay, I'm going to get into a little bit of 5- and 6-sided pyramids, okay? We've all known that a cone is nothing more than an infinite-sided pyramid, and the cone energy sometimes is more powerful than the 4-sided pyramid. So I wanted to do some testing with 5-sided pentagonal pyramids and 6-sided hexagonal pyramids. I went to the website blocklayer.com, and you can actually put in the geometry if you want a 5-sided, 6-sided, 4-sided pyramid, the angle, how many millimeters long you want the base, how long you want the height or whatever. But you can put a couple of those in and it'll design a pyramid for you. And that's exactly what I did. So check out the website blocklayer.com. And this is some of the things that they came up with. So I wanted to do a pentagonal Russian pyramid, and I wanted the base of it to be 90 millimeters like my capstones are. So I just put in 90 millimeters. I put in the angle of 76.345 degrees and 5 sides, and it calculated everything else for me. So the total height here is 262 millimeters.
Oh, that is really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. So I just made an initial, just one of these sides, and I used that as a template to cut out my pyramids. So you measure 90, and then I measured up 262, and then put a dot up there, and then drew the lines to the corners. And just cut that out and laid it out like I do like my molds are for my pyramids when I make the capstones. It also calculates the base for you as well, because unlike a 4-sided pyramid, it kind of gets all cockeyed. So you need the base on it as well to keep it in place. So make sure you make the base and tape it to it as well. And then these are the dimensions for the hexagonal pyramid, okay? And this, I wanted them both the same size because we're gonna actually place them side by side. Together, they're going to actually, I wanna get their energy tested by Lori and see how it differs when they're separated or together. But I'm gonna go over a few things on this website in a minute and show you where I'm going with this. Where I picked up this information at. So the base of the hexagonal Russian pyramid is also 90 degrees. And you find a lot of these different pyramids, especially the 5-sided pyramid, You find different molds and things. I know the place where I order my molds, they have 5-sided pyramid mold now too, but it's not Russian geometry. It's the golden ratio or, something else. But I wanted to do specifically the Russian geometry. So that's why I went to this website. Now this is the base dimensions for the hexagonal Russian pyramid. If anyone wants to follow my instructions, I figured I would share them here with you guys. Okay. So this is the website we're going to take you to real quick. Hold on one second. We're going to go to Secrets in Plain Sight, the snowflake and the flower. And that's going to be where we're going to see some of this information. Okay, hold on one second. I want to show you these pyramids real quick. So this is going to be the pentagonal pyramid that I made. This is the 5-sided one. I actually made it out of cardboard. I duct taped all the edges to make them pointy because the cardboard's a little fatter, so it sticks out. And then I actually took some of the stone spray paint and spray painted it so it kind of looks like a pyramid, a stone pyramid. So if you look at the bottom, you can see it's a 5-sided geometry, okay? This one is so this is the one I just showed you, the pentagon. This is the hexagon, so it's gonna be taller. And this is the 6-sided, okay? And the reason I made them both the same is because we're gonna stick them together later, like this, okay? And we're gonna see in a minute why we're doing this, why we're putting them together, and we're gonna test the energy that way as well. Okay.
Cool.
Let me see if I can do my screen share in here. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go, can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, so we're at the secretsinplainsight.com, the snowflake and the flower. This is a great article talking about the relationship between 5 and 6, the hexagram and the pentagram, okay? And I'm just gonna go through this briefly and show you a few things to touch on. A lot of crystals actually develop in a hexagonal shape, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is awesome. The gaseous planet Saturn, it actually has hexagonal clouds on its north pole. And it was verified in 2006. I just saw an article on this the other day. That's pretty awesome. It's always been there and it twirls around. And then of course, bees, one of my favorite creatures. They lay their babies, they lay their eggs in hexagons. They put their pollen and honey in there as well. There's actually, I couldn't find it. It's embedded in my research behind me somewhere, but there was a gentleman that actually used the shape of the hexagon, specifically honeycombs. He would hang them above people's head with the hexagons facing down towards the top of their head, and they would get healed of many different things from the power of the hexagon.
I think that's Grebennikov from Russia.
Okay. Okay. Okay, the pentagon 5 is the pentagon. Okay, and it's the number of life. All trees bearing fruit that we eat, they have blossoms with 5 petals. I didn't know that. I thought that was pretty cool. So all trees bearing fruit that we can eat have blossoms with 5 petals. And you can see when you cut this apple in half, there's the 5 again. Okay. The man's body, it also fits inside of the pentagram, and his parts are interrelated with the golden proportion, which is based on phi. This is pretty cool. The pentagram encodes the golden number phi within itself fractally. But really, this is it. The relationship between 6 and 5 is the key. And I'm pretty certain that when we put these together and test them, the energy is going to be even way higher. He who joins the hexagram and pentagram has solved half of the sacred secret by Eliphas Levi, the 19th century magician. this is similar to what we're going to do with the pyramids later. We're going to touch them edge to edge and create the same sequence. Here's the relationship between phi and pi, and it actually goes into a little more detail down here as well. I'm not going to get into all of that, but check out this website if you'd like to get a little more into it. So this is really cool. So this is where I'm really going to. I'm going to skip that one part, but DNA, okay? Adenine is one of 4 bases that code for all life in deoxyribonucleic acid. Its molecular structure is based on a hexagonal ring bonded to a pentagonal ring. So that's what we're going to be creating is the sequence of DNA. It's going to be similar. Okay, they found the same types of building blocks of DNA in meteorites in space as well. Okay, DMT, the spirit molecule, dimethyltryptamine. It's actually the same sequence, the pentagon and the hexagon, ring bonded together. Okay, melatonin. It's actually the same structure as well. Melatonin is actually secreted by the pineal gland in the center of your brain. Melatonin is also associated with sunlight and enlightenment. Okay. Crop circles. Okay, I'm into crop circle energy. I actually utilize it with my cosmic balance healing sessions, but check this out. This was a crop circle of that same molecule. Okay, on July 23rd in 2011 in Wiltshire, UK. It's a perfect match. You can see the 5 and the 6, okay? Serotonin, it's a neurotransmitter contributing to feelings of well-being and happiness. It also plays a role in memory and learning, same sequence. Okay. Different depictions through art, placement of buildings and structure of cities. Washington, D.C. is big for this. Even touches on the rosary and the number of beads on it. But I think you get the gist of it. So there's obviously something, it's been known all through history that's associated with the 5 and the 6. Okay, so that kind of got me a little curious and I wanted to see what was going to go on with all of this. So I'm going to move over to my pyramid. If Lori, if you're ready to start testing some of the energies.
I am. That was so cool. And is there anything having to do with oxygen with that, the number? I mean, what oxygen or,
I'm not really sure.
Okay, oxygen into, it kind of looked like, even if you go look at vitamin C and how it works, because it looks similar to all of those as well. So
yeah, there's a lot of cool things even at the base of that at the bottom of that page on the website that I was just scrolling through. There's so many things that he touches on in that article that resonate with the 5 and the 6.
I'll talk just briefly, Lori,
Okay.
about oxygen. One of the things that immediately comes to my mind when you look at structured water, which is H2O, you find a hexagonal pattern in structured water with the oxygen being at the 6 corners, and then the hydrogens are flowing outside. And I'm just starting to understand that may be relevant in the context of DNA as well, because we're learning that the hydrogen molecules in certain configurations are basically creating a vortex. So that could be it, what you're driving at.
That's awesome. Yeah. So tell me, Lisa, you're getting your 5-sided shape that you created? Oh, did we lose her?
I don't know.
No, sorry.
Oh, we see a
No,
photograph.
sorry. I'm here. I had to switch from my laptop to my phone.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we're going to start with the pentagonal pyramid, but let's get a base
Okay.
reading first, Lori, if you
Okay.
don't mind. I'll
Yeah,
step outside of the pyramid.
Oh, okay.
Or do
So
you want me
just
to
want the
stay inside?
pyramid. Do you want pyramid energy or your energy, just to be clear?
Let's do both, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, not at all. So let's do you first. So you're 12K outside the pyramid. And then let me check the
Okay.
pyramid just by itself.
Should I take notes here?
I think she is.
I'm writing them down too, Charlie. Yep.
Okay. All right.
I get 28K in your pyramid right now alone. So do you have your capstone and everything in there?
Yes. The only thing
Okay.
that's different, so I'll show you this. This is something I've been working on. This is actually pyramids inside of a pyramid. There's actually 3 pyramids here, but they're embedded inside of each other, amplifying each
That's so
other
cool.
even more. And I'm actually
Yeah.
working on a capstone design. This poor guy's been waiting for 2 weeks because I'm trying to perfect this. I've been working on it for almost 2 weeks, trying to perfect this. But
I
he's
will tell
patient.
you-
He's very patient. But
Just
this is under my
holding it
chair.
in
It's
your-
the only thing that's different.
Lisa, just holding that in your hand is doing something to your psychic vision in a positive way. So, yeah, it's actually, okay, interesting. Remember GW Harden's machine that he turned on? It took us to like a spiritual truth of our own. That's what that's doing in the palm of
Okay.
your hand there, Lisa. So I like that. Whatever that is, I would like
Really?
one of those. That's a pretty cool object right there. So I would like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
also,
Yeah, that's the only thing. Usually,
it is also,
go ahead.
it's also doing something to your blood. So again, going back to what we were saying with oxygen, it's doing something to oxygenate your blood. So something there with that as well.
Okay. Very
So,
nice.
which
That's
is
what
a very
usually when you
positive
do.
thing. With oxygen, it's doing something to oxygenate your blood. So something there with that as well.
Okay. Oh, someone must have just came on.
Which is a very positive thing. With oxygen, it's doing something to oxygenate your blood. So something there with that as well. Huh, I don't know who that is.
That was me.
Jeff's
Sorry.
the only
Oh.
one.
That's okay.
Charlie.
We just needed to hear it a few more times.
I guess it was important. I don't know.
Yeah, so usually when you test the energy of my meditation pyramid, it's 15K. And this really jacked it up a lot. You got a 28K, and this is the only thing that's different with it
did.
today. Yeah. Should I leave this in there or just?
No, absolutely. There is nothing negative coming off
Okay.
of that. So that's good.
Okay. Okay. So these pyramids, we're going to do the pentagonal pyramid first, and they're too big to put up on the apex amplifier. So we're going to just have to test them under the chair and maybe sitting in the chair, if that's okay. And I can
Okay.
actually hold them
Oh,
above my
perfect,
head.
fine.
I'll just hold it
Yes.
above my head. But let's try
Okay, that'll
underneath
be
the
good.
chair first.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it keeps going up. You've already reached 500K, so it just keeps going up. Give me a second here.
Okay. Okay.
But I don't know if you can feel this. Your left side of your head is really activated as this is going, which is your
That's funny because I
right
do
brain,
feel like a swirl of energy going up the back, the left of my head and coming around.
which is your right side of brain, right? The more creative side.
Yeah. Do you want me to hold it now?
Oh no, hang on. It's still going up.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
goodness.
still going up. We're over 23 million so far. It just
Oh
keeps
my
going
goodness.
up. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay, we've reached 8 billion. So we're stopped at 8 billion, which I find is interesting. Don't we have that a lot? It doesn't just seem like we have that number a lot.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
see
It
what
kind of
that's
feels,
significant of.
it feels like a Kundalini energy. You can feel it like swirling up the base or the base, starting at the
You
base
know
of your
what?
spine and
That's
swirling
exactly
up.
what it is. Lisa,
Yeah.
that's what it
It
is.
feels exactly like it. That's what I said, because I can
For
feel it
those
when it gets to my
people,
neck. It's like swirling around.
people really try to get that. So that's a good energy. Save that configuration for people that want Kundalini energy, because there's a lot of people out there that want
Yes.
that.
Yes. Okay. That's awesome. I haven't done any experiments with these yet. I just built them last night. So I'm excited to start meditating with them. But let's do it while I'm holding, let's test it while I'm holding it in the chair here.
Okay.
I'll hold it like at heart level.
Okay. So as you hold this, Lisa, there's a left neck tension again around your neck here. So your psychic vision is blocked from your ninth previous. Oh no, we're going to go back 999 lifetimes. Hang on just a second. When you were dying during that lifetime, something happened to your psychic vision. Hang on just a second. So obviously this is taking you through previous lives in this configuration right here, just so you know.
Okay.
It took you to the 8 billion again, but let me just clear this really quick while you're doing this.
Okay.
Because there is a spiritual antichrist during that time that did something negatively to you. And it goes from your neck down to your heart. I don't know if you can feel that. And it was
Okay.
something you were witnessing at the time. You actually witnessed, and the energy is what took you out.
I'll have to meditate on that and dig a little deeper. That's what my boyfriend, my neck has been bothering me. You've cleared it a few times and it's felt great for days, but then it comes back. Yesterday I had my boyfriend massage it and I was like, punch me right in the neck. Because there's a big knot there. He's like, I'm not punching you.
Well, it's funny because that's where it was whenever I thought about Bill Gates. It just really annoyed my neck. I could not move.
That's what I'm like.
Yeah.
When I was young, I had Charlie horses so bad, the only way I could get them to stop was punching them. So I'm like, punch my neck. I know, I'm crazy.
Well,
okay,
let's try. It makes a vibration within the energy to like cut it up. So I know what you're saying there. I know what you're saying when you say that.
Yeah.
It's not crazy.
Yeah. That's what I
There's a
cannot
method
stand.
to your madness.
Well, I cannot stand a dull, achy, long-lasting pain. I'd rather have my arm chopped off than to have to deal with that thing. So that's where I'm like, just cut my head off or something. Okay, so now this was 8 billion too, but I felt the energy of it way more when it was underneath my chair. When I'm holding on to this, it feels more warming, like a warming sensation coming over me. underneath it felt like a Kundalini serpent coming up my spine, chills, just a lot of energy flow. So let's do
That
it
is
above
so
my head.
cool.
And
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it above my head and see how that works.
Now, I don't know if you feel this, but there is a tone that started. I don't know. Yeah, I say feel. Do you hear the tone that it started when he did that?
You know, I don't hear anything, but there's a tickle in both of my ears. I don't hear anything though. If I sat here with, meditated for a while, I probably would tune into it.
Yeah, there's a tone. And again, your left neck is doing something.
I can feel the energy from this one too. And it feels different. It feels like it's pushing down on my head and clearing out, like I can breathe better.
Well, it's working on your mission. All right, so that went to 8 billion again and is working on your mission, but it's also taking you through a vortex. So that's different than creating a vortex. It's taking you through one. And this has to do with mediumship. To transform your actual ability of talking to spirits.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool.
Nice. Thank you. That's awesome.
Welcome. Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going to try the hexagonal one now. So it's a little bit bigger. This is the 6-sided. And we'll try it under the chair first.
Okay. There goes your left side of your neck again, Lisa. So this is, tell me again what this is, Lisa.
This is the hexagon. It's a 6-sided pyramid.
Yeah, this went down energetic wise. It's not as high as the last one.
As the other.
Yeah, it only went to
much.
an 8 million, which I am curious why the 8. What's with the 8? There must be some significance there. I'm not sure what it is yet. It has to do with the infinity, though.
Okay. Okay.
Infinity with the 8.
This is a more gentle. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a more gentle energy.
Yeah, this is totally different. I mean, I'm not sure what it's doing here.
It feels like now it's up in my heart area, but mostly I can feel it more in the back, in my back.
And
but in the heart
I got to be honest with you, Lisa, I don't feel it's positive.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not feeling a positive energy here.
Okay. It doesn't feel bad to me. It just feels like a more gentle, subtle energy.
It is gentle, but I am not feeling that it's positive.
Okay. Let's try it in the chair.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still getting it's a negative energy, and now it is doing something to your core right here. And it almost feels like a clump in your throat.
Okay.
And it's still at 8 million, but yeah, like you said, it's a gentle energy, but I don't feel it's a positive one.
Okay. Well, maybe when we get the yin and yang together here, it'll balance each other out and do a
It
positive
might
energy.
be, yeah, and that's what I resonate to. That'll probably be way better. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Try it above my head.
I just I don't get good energy on this. Sorry.
Would this be used for like shadow work, maybe?
This is taking you through a negative vortex right now.
Well, I don't want to go there.
Well, and let's just try them together and see what the difference is, because I'm not feeling good with this one
Okay.
alone.
Okay, let's put them both under the chair. We'll start out with that.
Okay.
So let me show you real quick what we're going to do. We're going to put them both side by side. So one side's flush with the other to mimic the sequences of DNA, melatonin, serotonin. Okay, all those things we were talking about a little bit ago.
Okay.
Okay, so let me see if you can see it. So you can see them under my chair touching.
Yep. So let's
Okay.
check your energy outside alone.
Oh, okay.
Wait, don't sit in there yet. Yep.
Okay.
So your energy outside it is 25K. So whatever we did earlier, it's been up since then. So that's good. And then inside the pyramid itself, is wow. It's 8 billion. You don't even have to sit in there.
Oh,
you don't have to sit in there because it'll end up doing whatever you need to do constantly. So go ahead and sit and let's find out. It's weird because I could already tell when you put it together, my energy was almost as if I was going in the fastest airplane I possibly could, you know, kind of that G-force energy. So,
oh yeah, I can really feel it.
and it's a positive energy, not a negative.
Yeah, it feels like the first one, like the Kundalini energy, but it feels a little faster, actually.
This is doing something to your soul power. This would help you channel if you wanted to channel. I don't feel your neck issue, do you?
Okay, good. No, actually, I don't.
Do you feel any? Yeah, I know. That's pretty amazing.
I feel warm though.
Something's happening with your vision.
So that's what I felt with the other one. Like a combination of the two.
With your
I can feel the warmth.
Sorry, I think
hopefully it heals my eyes, so I don't need glasses.
Overlap. You go.
Oh,
I'm gonna let you talk, Lisa.
I can feel the change in my eyes as well. I had a headache yesterday and my eyes were very fuzzy, and they still were this morning when I woke up, but I can feel them getting clearer actually.
Yeah. So this is really good. Whatever this is really good.
I feel a combination of the two energies though. You know, the first one, the pentagon, was creating more of a Kundalini energy by itself. The other one was more of a warmth is what I felt. And that's what I can feel them together. It's not a cool energy this time, but it feels like a Kundalini energy, but it's warm. What is the reading that you get, Lori?
It's still 8 billion.
Okay.
So like I said, there's something significant about that number.
Okay. Let's try it while I'm holding them together in the chair. Okay. So we're going to hold them together in the chair like this.
Okay, now I feel your neck again. It's not very big, it's very subtle, but I can also feel your heart on this one as well.
I feel a lot of energy in my hands, kind of like when I'm doing energy healing for people.
This is weird because this is saying it's a negative energy, not a positive.
Really?
So underneath the chair, it was a positive, but here it isn't. I wonder if it's because you're holding it? No. Is it the location? Is it where it is with inside the pyramid? Okay, it has to do with where it's located within the pyramid. So down below it was okay. Let's see if you take it higher, if it's
Okay.
any different.
Let me put them together here.
Okay, now that's a more positive effect as well. So the middle of the pyramid range was not positive with that, but the lower part and the higher part is. And what it's doing here is transforming.
I can really feel it in my head.
Wow. This might be something that would be like a fountain of youth thing. Because what it's telling me, it's transforming a growth, almost like a new growth in your DNA.
Ooh.
But this would kind of mimic what you were saying earlier with the hexagon over the people's head and it would heal them, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That is very fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good test there. What are you feeling?
I feel a lot of energy in my head area, warmth actually too, and energy kind of swirling around. I feel it mostly in my head though.
Well, it's going down to your spine, if you can feel that, and then it feels like it's swirling again downward, where the Kundalini was spiraling upwards with that one.
You know, I wonder if it's underneath you, you know, it's going to give you a different energy, whether it's underneath you or above you. I wish I had another set of these to test when one was underneath us and above us at the same time.
Ooh.
Because that would be, yeah,
boy,
that would be pretty
always
intense,
pushing that
I'm
envelope,
sure.
aren't you?
Yes, I am. What reading did you get on that, Lori? Is it still 8 billion?
Yes. It didn't go any further or up. It was just different types of energy depending on the location.
Okay. Perfect. So, you know, mainly our conclusion today, we're done testing the energy today, but the conclusion really is they all resonate at the same vibration. But the pentagon underneath my chair, that's going to provide the Kundalini energy that a lot of people are seeking. You know, that spiritual awakening, connecting with your higher power. Underneath, or while I'm holding it in the chair, it's more of previous lives, and this is the pentagon. Above my head, Lori picked up that it was working on my mission and taking me through vortexes and helping me transform my mediumship, which is awesome. Now the hexagon, it all resonated at 8 million at every position. It felt more like, to me, a gentle energy in the back and in my heart area, but it wasn't a positive energy at any of the positions inside. Together, we did pick up some positive energy, but it still resonated together at 8 billion. Underneath the chair, together, it created more soul power, more channeling, more vision. And when I was holding it in the chair, the two of them together, it just didn't resonate at a very good vibration. Above my head, though, it created more of a powerful energy again. And what did you say it was above my head, the two together, Lori? I didn't have my pen in my hand to write it down.
It was just that it was going down your neck in a spiral, healing.
Okay.
And creating growth in your DNA is what I was feeling.
Okay. Yeah, healing energy. So yeah, that's what you did say. It touched on the man that I was talking about earlier that used to heal people with honey hives, with beehives, and the shape of the honeycomb, the hexagons. So once we add that hexagon to the pentagon, that's the same energy that I felt like that it was pushing down. So even, if I try making smaller ones and several of them together or something, there's a lot of things that we can play around with here with different shapes and stuff. So.
Sure. Well, just to finish up on Viktor Grebennikov, I mean, he was a Russian scientist who worked actually, I think, for the state, kind of like agriculture or environmental area. He would go out into the woods and remote places and check on the animals and the so forth. But he ended up spending the night under a bunch of beehives. As it turned out, and he had all of these visions and so forth. And so he took them back to his laboratory, studied their geometry, and ultimately, although this is not well known in the West, he was able to develop a flying apparatus. It was just like a plank of board with a handle on it. He could fly around on it based on this technology. So that's
cool.
That's really cool because, I study geopathic stress, and bees prefer to live on top of geopathic stress, which is harmful. That energy is harmful to humans and to animals, most animals, but bees love that type of energy.
Yeah.
So maybe the honeycomb is transforming that energy for them as well. That's why they're good at transforming energy, because that's what it's designed to do.
Sure. Don't know. So I think it's also interesting just to see that, I'm going to need to go back and do some more homework myself now that you've shown us that article about DNA and its, you take these
the molecular structure
pairs of pentagons and hexagons and that's the way you essentially develop the spiral of the DNA. And so fascinating. How'd you come across
did
this?
Anybody? I don't even know. One thing leads me to 10 other things, and I just get off track all the time. So I don't even know. But it was a great find. I really like that article and all the information that he shared on there about it. So.
Sure. Fantastic. Well, we have one question from the group that's watching. How does working in the pyramid with specific frequencies like solfeggios affect the accelerated organic ascension currently taking place that already has constantly changing frequencies? Anyone want to tackle that?
No, I thought you were going to tackle that too.
No,
I know. That's what I thought so too.
I'm just asking the questions today.
You're good at answering.
Well, affect the organic ascension. I'm going to try to answer it with mathematics, which is the only way that I know to do this, I mean, the solfeggio frequencies, going back over the last 4 or 5 weeks, we've been trying to put together a case that scientifically the geometry of this pyramid is linked, in fact, to DNA. And Lisa's information today, points us in that direction. But we're also able to, we've learned that there's a mathematics called vortex mathematics that is with base 9 that will allow for the mathematical formation of the torus, which is the point at the tip of the pyramid, or it's used throughout creation as this point where all time and space come together, and it's a point, an energetic vortex, and whatever is put into that with the appropriate intention or intensity, has a much greader chance of becoming reality as the vortex or the torus comes back and creates reality in the physical plane. The reason why this pyramid and the solfeggio frequencies both seem to work so well together to do that is because in vortex mathematics, we notice that the numbers 3, 6, and 9 create what are called gateways or pathways for the flow of energy and information into the torus. And so there seems to be a mathematical correspondence between this angle, between the solfeggio frequencies, and the fact that they use the numbers 3, 6, and 9, as Lori was mentioning earlier, and I might as well comment on that she seems to be stuck on 8s rather than 9s. And again, 9 is a symbol of completion or unity. So I'm not at all really kind of surprised in a way at that, because the number 9 is not in the pattern of infinity, this creative pattern that we found in vortex mathematics. So that's a long-winded answer, and I'm not sure I got it anywhere, but
I'll give you it from the spiritual aspect from what I understand, Mark. What you're saying here is, how does working in a pyramid specific frequencies like solfeggio affect the accelerated organic ascension? I'm guessing you're talking about if we were meditating on our own and if we were doing what we need to do on our own to ascend, how does the pyramid make it different? It does accelerate it in a positive manner, but still it coincides with, you can't go out and start doing harmful things to people continuously thinking that you're going to ascend and keep ascending if you do something like that. It's that you're doing the positive behavior, being of service to others, things like that continue helping you accelerate in a more authentic, organic way. And it does excel your energy to ascend. And when it does, what we have recognized, and I can speak for myself, is that manifesting is easier and quicker and faster. Other things that if we just brought up something like, boy, this would be interesting to look at, everything is falling in our laps. One thing leads us to another, to another, to another, that takes us into a more depth of what we were looking at. And then it helps us understand exactly what it is we were looking for in a manner that is scientific, but also a spiritual aspect to it. I mean, we can go on about the pyramid. For me, it's myself, and we were writing up some information for our Science Pyramid Foundation, and I found that my psychic ability alone went up 40% after getting the pyramid. Now, if you knew me, people would say you were pretty psychic alone, but to enhance it by 40%, that's a huge percentage. And I will tell you what, then we started doing the frequencies and it's unbelievable. I'm seeing things with my eyes that I wouldn't normally see. I usually see it in my third eye, if that makes sense. I see things in my third eye, whether it's a spirit of some sort or a demon or something negative. Well, I've actually literally seen them in front of me now, which is a whole nother thing for me. And
Wow.
to me, that's what it's all about. And we are very interdimensional existence that can do some profound, amazing things that we have been suppressed over centuries. That in some centuries they tried to bring this back and revive it to create more. And Charlie, you've talked about even the hats that the women used to wear
Sure.
that would also bring this energy in, and yet it got suppressed time and time again, or somebody thought it was silly, or that they really couldn't prove it. Well, that's what we're trying to do today, is really prove to people how this really worked, and that there is a reason why they were putting it up. There's a reason why in Russia they have so many, and what it's done for the people in Russia.
And for those who watched back in January, we touched for about 3 sessions on the Tartarian Empire. This geometry has been known as recently as 150, 200 years ago, and it looks like knowledge of it was suppressed, even though this geometry was used in buildings, spires, temples all over the world, and has been known for thousands of years. So, we're
and
really
having sophisticated, having sophisticated electricity that couldn't be understood. We're just tapping into that. We're just getting into it. Stay tuned. We'll have more for you.
I was thinking of
at
actually.
the bottom of that. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that maybe next week I'll put up a picture. I was tempted to do that today from the 16th and 17th century, showing that places like the Champs-Élysées in France had electrical lighting, and these pyramid structures were hanging around and lit up. So, it's everywhere, or was.
Nice.
So there's some more questions, Charlie, if you want to.
Oh, real quick, if you go to the bottom of that website that we were looking at earlier on the relationship between the 5 and 6, it even touches on different architectural designs like churches that are specifically 555 feet long, which equals 666 inches, or I'm sorry, 6,660 inches. So that also is a 5-6 relation. The Washington Monument is also 555 feet tall, which is 6,660 inches.
That's right.
A lot of cool things there.
It is.
Yeah. The more we get into it, I know I was a science major in college, and I was doing that in the time when the U.S. was actually considering moving to the metric system, and decided not to do it. And I always questioned, why was it that we had such an arcane, absurd, counting system?
Yeah.
But of course, now I understand all of these measurements are coming to us and have some real significance when you.
And why weren't we taught that, right?
What's that?
Why weren't we taught that? I didn't know anything about the Fibonacci spiral until out on my own
I
in
agree.
my spiritual realm. And
That's right.
the phi as well. Didn't know anything about that until I was out in the spiritual world.
Yeah.
Phi is pretty profound.
I've learned
and that's
more outside of school. I've learned more outside of school than I have in school. Seriously.
Well, that's true.
Just
that's
on my
true.
own research.
So Charlie, there's some more questions here if you want to check them out.
Okay. Well, let's see. We've got. Do you think the pyramid is a specific frequency like a solfeggio, or is it the harmonics of infinite frequencies? I haven't
read that
figured
one
out.
more time. Can you read that one more time? I want to hear what he said again.
Sure. It says, Lori, you got to the heart of my question. do you think the pyramid is a specific frequency like a solfeggio, or is it harmonics of infinite frequencies?
It's harmonics of infinite frequencies. Yeah.
Mhm. Because
What
it's an
what
antenna. It's picking up
yeah,
whatever's
that
out there.
the pyramid amplifies it as well. I mean, and Charlie, you
Mhm.
can go into that
Yeah,
and explain that.
Well, it acts as a resonance chamber. Again, the phi scaling angle is something that's used by nature to scale from the small to the large, or from the large to the small. That's just kind of the way it expands and contracts in the universe, and that's done through the spiral. It looks as though the solfeggio frequencies, we haven't figured this totally out yet, but they work so well inside the pyramid because I think as an amplifier that these frequencies are the frequencies of harmony in nature, and that by amplifying that inside the pyramid, it amplifies the effects. As to whether there is a specific frequency inside, I have to tell you there probably is, but we don't know what it is yet. I'm going to go back to some research we talked about in January or February. There's a woman in England who goes into into churches, and actually is able to record that vibration, the resonant frequency of a church, and then play that in and create cymatic, diagrams with it. And so I would assume that one could do the same thing if you had the right equipment. Certainly a good thing for us to try to research when we have the funds to do that.
Well, Bernard
Yes.
also said something about rodent coil vortex mathematics.
Yeah, we were talking about vortex mathematics before, and yeah, Marco Rodin is the person who did that. That's an interesting segue, actually, because I wanted to talk just a minute about what we're doing with Rodin coils, other types of coils. But yeah, Rodin's mathematics, determines essentially in his coil that there is a numerical pattern which includes threes, sixes, and nines, which helps to create the pathway by which this energy, is established or becomes radiated. So, that's clearly all part of this process, and that mathematics turns into geometry, which turns into sound, which can turn into light, and all vice versa, going back down, so into physical reality. So it all is connected. Very few people have put all of this together, and we are trying to do that, and we're just finding that there's so many, as Lisa was saying, how she found this website earlier today. That's the way we've sort of found this out as well. One thing leads to another, and we're getting closer and closer to putting together what we think is a pretty good understanding of why and how the physical experience is manifested, and it is through a process of combination of this system of mathematics, geometry, sound, light, and so forth, but coupled with intention, or that really it's consciousness that creates your experience.
And to add to that, kind of what we were talking about last week, consciousness is the future. When you're inside these pyramids, what it's going to do is allow you to be more within that consciousness than in your subconscious.
Right.
Bottom line, that's what it is. And we talked about this. I feel like the future consciousness is 6D. If we live in that existence, we're in 6D. We're talking about with G.W. Harton that we're still in 5D. I believe that's our subconscious. There is a disconnect between the 5D and 6D, which is interesting. There's that 5 and 6 number again, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
I still have a sense that our collective as a whole of a subconscious isn't quite ready for the future. which I think we could get there if we really, you know, take the
Yeah.
leap. But I think
Yeah,
there's that homeostasis of our existence that really doesn't want to take that leap. So
Sure. Well,
Mike,
just-
yeah.
I just wanted to finish up on that question though about rodent coils. We are doing, and in fact, you know, we said last week that I was going to start building some caduceus coils. That's just the first step in the process. Well, I got the materials to do that, but I was able to. I also got I got it just yesterday, but I was able to build a connector between my laptop computer where I can play the sound frequencies, and I have a male plug that I've on the other end. I put an alligator clip, and I used to make tensor rings, and I have a fairly large tensor ring that we have tested. I'm just going to take my camera here so you can kind of look down and see this tensor ring that's sitting underneath my chair. And let's see if we can show that.
We can't quite see it. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. You can
part
see
of
this
it,
thing
yeah.
kind of going around. And we tested that, and it seems to have a I just did this right before the show, and it has a very profound impact. Lori didn't know that I had just tried this out for about 10 minutes before she came on before the show, and she started asking me about past life issues. And that tells me a lot because I had just had this on for about 5 minutes, and she could already tell there were new things that were showing up. Scalar waves are supposed to be able to cut through the subconscious blockages that we may have to manifestations, to a lot of other issues in our lives. And so, you know, we can't wait to get started to see how that all works with the solfeggio frequencies. So anyway, that's a good introduction to what's coming up.
Yeah. It's exciting.
It is. So anyway,
Has a cough. Okay, Michael Phillips says George Washington Monument, 100 meters tall, 333 feet high. Do you guys know anything about that?
that would be about right. I mean, I don't know the exact or the precise numbers, but that sounds about right. And I wouldn't at all be surprised. Now, why they would do it in meters rather than feet, I'm not sure.
And then the significance, I'm trying to understand, is that creating some type of what?
100 meters tall, 300. Read the book of 528. That's what somebody's saying. Lisa, you just mentioned that book last week.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
I was saying, I just actually am reading it now, the book of 528.
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I guess, Lisa, do you have any closing comments here on?
No, I already covered all the conclusions. I'll have this information typed up, and we can give it out next show if anybody wants the
Okay.
information.
All
Oh,
right.
you did good. Yeah.
And
Thank you.
depending on time constraints next week, we may be able to demonstrate the tensor ring and also a caduceus coil and test the energy fields of those as well. So,
Okay.
and even as important, if not more so, I'm wondering, and I'll throw this out to Lori and Lisa to comment on. I'm wondering whether the energy fields that we've been measuring using sound frequencies, if we're going to get similar, when I say similar results, are we measuring possibly a different energy when we are using scalar frequencies than we are when we use sound frequencies? And do you understand the question?
I get a yes on that. I don't quite understand the question, but I get a yes.
Well, I mean, I think we've been using this BOVA scale to measure energy, and I'm just wondering whether even if the scalar waves are more powerful in their ability to penetrate, say, the subconscious, whether we're going to be able to detect them in the same way, or would there be, I don't know. It's just a question we'll have to think about and test.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, are there if there are no other questions for today, let's see, quite some time back, Charlie tried a tensor ring and Lori found it negative. Is it now possible having it under the chair? I think what we're going to find is that, we're just testing this all for the first time. It seems as though we're going to be testing coils as well, but tensor rings to me, since I used to make them, seem like a type of coil that might actually be able to do this. So it's just one of several things that we're going to test. But if it does, and it does have a positive impact on the energy with me, it's going to probably have that for others. And I think it has to do with the fact that we are putting a specific frequency into the tensor ring, which in theory, we believe is coming out as a scalar wave rather than an audio frequency, and seems to be having a pretty dramatic impact. So, it may be that without the benefit of having frequencies put through it, it is impacting perhaps the innate ability of the pyramid to generate energy. But when it's amplified inside, it seems to be working pretty well. I don't have any other explanations for that at the moment. Okay, well, as always, we thank you for watching. Please tell your friends about our weekly live stream, Pyramid Quest, and be sure and tell your friends to comment or subscribe and to comment. And I guess before we leave, Lisa, is there any updates on when we're going to be moving over to the new
Science Pyramid
YouTube site?
Foundation.
Yeah, Pyramid Science
Yes.
Foundation.
Yes, we'll be there next week, I promise. I'll
Okay.
get with you after the show, Charlie, so we can start switching things over.
Okay.
Loading those new videos. But if
All right.
anybody that's watching, if you do end up making any of these pentagonal pyramids or hexagonal pyramids and you do experiments with them, let us know your results, okay?
All right.
Well, and Tim Gunter just commented again, the sun resonates at 528 hertz. DNA peak resonates is at the frequency as well. So
Yeah.
very good information for everyone to know.
Nice.
Thank you, Tim.
Okay. As always, we thank you all for watching. Look forward to seeing you again next week on Pyramid Quest, and have a great day.